Hello and welcome back to 100 Yards of Football, Sports Talk Radio. I'm your producer, Jeremiah Long, and joining me to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles NFL draft prospects and their needs for 2022 is our host, Mr. Logan Landers. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's going on, Jeremiah? We're talking the Eagles today, right? Fly, Eagles, fly. We'll see what they can do in this upcoming draft. Hey, they did pretty solid last year. Got to the wild card game. Unfortunately, got knocked out in the first round by Tom Brady and them. But that means that you were a good team. You were pretty solid, and that means that you can improve a lot this year. And man, I'm gonna get to it in a minute. But with the amount of draft picks they got, they can definitely make a splash this upcoming year.
I totally agree. And for everybody watching from home or listening to our podcast, thank you so much again for joining us. Sharing us by word of mouth with your friends and family is how we've been able to grow so exponentially over the past 3 years, and how we've been able to grow for over 10 years, starting on AM radio with our original host, Mr. Vincent Football Turner. So thank you so much for watching through the years. And now, as we take our next technological leaps and we're growing leaps and bounds over on our video podcast and especially on our regular podcast, we're just so thankful for every person that watches our show. So thank you personally from our team to you. So, Mr. Logan Landers, the Philadelphia Eagles, the draft needs for 2022. Tell us, what do we have to look forward to?
The Philadelphia Eagles have 10 draft picks this year in total. 10. So, before I get into what they have, what rounds, what numbers, we always talk about what they did in free agency, what they've improved on, who they've re-signed, who they've signed. And, I mean, the Eagles haven't done a whole lot, right? They've re-signed a lot of guys. The big splash, they got Zach Pascal from the Colts. They got Hassan Ridgeway, who left. He went to the 49ers. Alex Singleton went to the Broncos. You got Kaiser White from the Chargers coming on over. And they've also re-signed a lot of guys like Derek Barnett, Anthony Harris, and just a decent amount of guys, but nothing too major, really. I think Hassan Reddick, right? They got him from the Panthers. That was a big move. But they haven't gotten a lot of guys like the Jacksonville Jaguars has got, where they've signed 50 different players, seemingly. But they've kept it pretty close to home. And it looks like they're going to go very draft heavy. And like I mentioned, with 10 draft picks, I don't blame them. So looking at the numbers and what draft numbers they have pick 15, they have pick 16, and they have pick 19, all in the first round. I mean, you could definitely, if you wanted to, if they have their heart set on a certain player, you could package at least two of those and move up a good bit of draft spots. Or you could stay put and get 3 first-round draft picks. I mean, you're looking pretty good right there. But keep it going there. They have a pick, just one pick in the second round at number 51. In the third round, just one pick at 83. In the fourth round, one pick at 124. In the fifth, pick 154. And they also have pick 162 and pick 166. And then finally, rounding it out, pick round 6, pick 194. So 10 selections they can go with if they choose to do so in the 7-round NFL draft. We'll see how many they keep. I don't know if they're going to draft 10 players because, man, that's a lot. But I could definitely see them trading at least a few of those to get a higher overall pick. We'll see what they can do. But let's get into what they can improve, what they need to help out their team, who finished 9-8 last season. So they did have a winning record. But like I said, they were not able to win the NFC East. They lost that by, I believe, 3 games to the Dallas Cowboys. So what can they do this year? And who can they draft to help maybe get over that hump and take over ownership of that NFC East crown? All right, first off, help out that defense. Help out your linebacking core. Like I mentioned, you lost Alex Singleton. That's a big piece. You need someone who can replace him and who can get things going on your linebacking core where you can kind of get shredded. But, man, there's a ton of good linebackers. And with 3 picks in the first round, I mean, you could get 1. You could dip in there, maybe get 2. I don't know what the Eagles are going to go for, man. They might do something crazy. But I think you definitely need to go with a linebacker first round. Get a Nakobe Dean, get a Devin Lloyd, get a Quay Walker, Drake Jack. There's a lot that you can go in that first round. with that linebacking position. So definitely pick someone up there who is an elite talent. Go with the edge rusher to help out your defense. Get something going on your team. Get some pressure on the quarterback. You got Josh Sweat, you got Brandon Graham, you got Jonathan Gano, but who's helping out that defense. But you need some help to get things going. Otherwise, get a very talented edge rusher. You get a David Ajabo, Zach Harrison potentially, Jermaine Johnson, just a few names to throw out there. Someone who you can help get to the quarterback, help stuff the run, and just most importantly help out that defense. Going to the offense now, you need another wide receiver. I mean, you got Devontae Smith last year, right? An electric receiver in college, did good last year. But, I mean, other than that Eagles wide receiver room needs a facelift, needs a makeover. Quez Watkins, he's pretty solid. But Jalen Reagor, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, I think that's going to be it for them. I think they're kind of giving up on them. But I mean, with the really solid and with the amount of receivers that we've covered, and not just the ones that we haven't in the draft, because we've covered probably 50 of them, you can find a really talented wide receiver in the first round, right? You can go with a linebacker at pick 16. You can go with or you can go linebacker pick 15, right? You can go with a receiver pick 16, and then you can go with an edge rusher pick 19 if you want to. I mean, you could fill all three of the big holes that I just mentioned in the first round if they choose to keep all those picks. So I think if you do that, they're going to help out. But the Eagles, like I said, they got a pretty solid team with Jalen Hurts. I know a lot of fans aren't a big fan of the young man, but I think that if you can stick it out with him, give him a little bit of time, right? He's still young. He's still got some room to learn in the NFL. Help him out. Help out your defense. Maybe go after a safety in the late rounds. Help someone out, and also get their cornerback. But mostly, I just think their defense was their kind of downfall, giving up a lot of points. Just Tom Brady carved them up in the playoffs. So help out your defense first. I think linebacker might be the first one. Then go with a corner, then go with a safety or something along those lines. Get an edge rusher as well, but definitely defensive minded. You can help, get another receiver or two in there. You can get to help out your boy in Devontae Smith. And I think with the Eagles, if they keep progressing the way they are, if they keep trending in an upward direction, I think they can get more than 10 wins this year if they draft well. I think they can continue to compete for that NFC East crown, that championship that they were going for with the Cowboys last year, who just had a little bit better of a roster. But the difference between the Cowboys and the Eagles is the Eagles have a lot more draft picks. They have 3 in the first round. And if you knock this out the ballpark, right, like the Phillies, I think you can definitely have a good run this upcoming year in 22 into 23. So I expect big things from the Eagles with the amount of draft picks they have. We'll see what they can do in Vegas in less than a month. It's going to be very interesting to see if the Eagles are going to keep flying or if they're going to go down. We'll see what they can do.
Man, that's another team. As we go through these draft needs for 2022, we see that there are huge opportunities when you have a lot of draft picks, but also huge unknowns. If you get in a bunch of really great college players and they're able to adapt to the new systems in the NFL very quickly, you have a whole team full of stars on your hands. On the other side, even if those great players that come out of college and come into the NFL might have been ready to make that leap to the NFL, they might have some attitude problems. They might have some physical problems where they need a lot more development than you think. They may just not work well with the team. They may be having to adjust to moving to a different part of the country. There's a lot of things that make it a long road to building a great player out of college not just that they had a great record or that they played for Alabama on several championship teams. None of those things will translate exactly once they reach the NFL level. So it's going to be really up to the coaches to hone these young minds and put them in a place where they can succeed. So I'm here for it. I'm really excited to see that. I would love to go to Philadelphia this season and see a game in person. They have a great fandom up there. It's one of the best tailgating experiences I've ever had. And I have been to a tailgate outside of a Philadelphia Eagles game before when I was passing through Philly one year. And it's just a sight to see. Everyone's having a great time. There's so much camaraderie. People are cooking out in the parking lot. It's a lot of fun. So I definitely would love to see them go to greatness this year. And for everybody watching and listening to our show, we know that you also want to see the Philadelphia Eagles come into greatness. So tell us, do you feel like their draft needs will be met? Who do you think will fill those needs? We would love to hear from you in the comments. And if you're listening to our podcast, thank you so much for being with us every single day on our podcast. And if you're not, come and join us. 100 yards of football, anywhere that you listen to podcasts, including on Spotify, over on Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon, anywhere that you love listening to podcasts, including on your home device where you could say, hey, like say, hey, Google, for example, right?
Hey,
And then
Google, hey, Alexa.
Yeah, hey, Alexa. Yeah, whichever one works for your home device. And then say, play 100 Yards of Football podcast. And guess what? We have tested this over and over on our home devices. It will work. Just tell them that you want to listen to the podcast and it'll play it for you. It's that easy. We love technology. So thank you so much to Mr. Logan Landers for bringing us this NFL draft needs special for the Philadelphia Eagles. I am your producer, Jeremiah Long, and be with us because we are going to have live episodes coming up throughout the week and new podcasts coming out throughout the weeks. So thank you so much for joining us for this one, and we'll see you on the next